Day two of Make Them Notice. I've been going through this in my head, trying to figure out how do you get their attention? How do you become somebody that stands out to them? How are you not just like everybody else? And I'm fighting with the passion of Healthy Bellies, and I'm trying to get you to cling on to this story of healing, I guess, of some kind of like massive shift in what we're doing currently, because it's something that has to happen in order for our society to be on the right track to living better, feeling better, not being plagued with all these ailments. But how do I say, hey, pay attention to me? Maybe tell you a little bit about myself, maybe give you my background. I want to make it not an arrogant thing. I want to make it or not an individual thing. I mean, I want to make it an everybody thing, a purpose for everybody involved in the situation. But I guess what I have to say about that is not many people will just keep pushing. A lot of people would have given up many times already, and I just won't. And so I think maybe I just tell you the story of a lovely lady who was born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, who had 2 kids before she was 17, or at the age of 17, and was gay as meep. Came from a family that struggled with depression, financial issues, drug and alcohol issues, anger issues, worthlessness issues, resentment issues, all the issues across the board. I came from a family that had wholesomeness, togetherness, lovingness, and the lack of all of those other things. There was a lot of bad examples set for me, but there was a lot of good examples set for me too. So I came from both worlds, and when I learned how to react in life, at first I learned how to react with the negative things that I learned, and anger and just resentment, all kinds of craziness. I was stuck inside my head. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know where I belonged. I was not a part of this world. And this is not a me woe story. Everybody can get on board with this story. Everybody feels the exact same way. It doesn't matter if you're gay, or if you're of different ethnicity, or if you grew up in a neighborhood that you didn't feel like you belonged in, or maybe you are the only brown-haired kid in your blonde-haired family and you feel so outcast because of that it has tortured you in your entire life. Like, my story is no worse or no better than anybody else's, and it's no more harder to deal with. But what I'm doing here is trying to just be a better person in society in general, and create a collaboration of collective minds of people who want things to be better. I have been through the ringer in life, and I made a lot of mistakes, and at some point I got my head together and got it on straight, and at least had correct focus for success. And I maintained that path for a long time after I overcame my anger issues and the issues that I was gay, and that I didn't feel worthy of love from my family because I wasn't like any of them or whatever. How I felt negatively in my growing up, I think everybody has had some kind of version of that. Even in the best families, we struggle with that. So my intention and purpose is just to relate to everybody else. And what I know is it's not just about Healthy Bellies for food for healing. It's about Healthy Bellies for an atmosphere, because once we create the place that we create the food, we create a place of togetherness where we bring people who need more healing, spiritual and emotional, and people that just need to feel like they belong somewhere, that it's completely okay to be outcast, that it's okay to be like nobody else, because those are the people who are searching a true purpose, because you're not just sacrificing yourself to live into the standard of what is programmed in us. And that is what we're trying to create here. Healthy Bellies is a vision of everyday open mic and jam sessions, of free coming mothers who need a place to take their kids, who used to go to McDonald's for the playland time, but they don't want to go to McDonald's anymore, and if they do, they probably bring a snack for them and maybe get a treat while they're there. It's a different world. We need to start building an industry that adapts to the needs of society. And we need people who have lived the wants of life to understand how to create the needs, to meet the needs. That's people like me and people like you, like real normal people. But we're not the people with the money. It's like when you have a boss at a job. That's why corporate America is kind of BS, because you have all of these bosses and they're not walking your shoes every single day. They're not taking the steps that you have to take, but they have all these high expectations of you and they don't understand the obstacles that they're putting in your way, which is going to create failure, because if you succeed too much, then you surpass the level that they're at, and that's going to somehow invade on their worth, their self-worth. So it's almost like a plan to keep us down. But we need to get together and we need to rise together. And we need some people like Oprah and people who have the financial means to see how smart we are and back us up. I'm just going to keep making a series of video blogs. I'm going to keep them kind of short, and I'm going to just keep hitting home to the point of what I'm thinking about, and that is not giving up until somebody sees that we have already built a model of a business that has the ability to turn this entire nation onto its shift in a massive time frame, like a very quick time frame. The shift is coming. Everybody is finding love on the inside. They're not willing to live this government-driven life that we've been programmed to think is supposed to be supported with fear and violence and control and hunger and greed and, capitalism at its finest, with just government-based companies all having all of the money, the 1% of the wealth, or the 1% of the population having most of the wealth. You know the stories. I don't have to go into all of that stuff because everybody already knows that. It's the idea that positive thought equals positive vibration creates a positive experience in existence, and we all know it. And if we start putting that thought process together, it's just going to come together that much quicker the more our voices get out there. And I've been terrified to put my voice out there. I've done it in the past, and then I got scared, but I can't be scared anymore. Together we will. We will build something that creates an answer, a solution to all of the problems. Sustainable gardening, urban gardening, connected to businesses, growing their own foods, using energy-efficient processes to do that in regard to solar power and water power and wind power and just like kinetic energy, like the creation of that through motion. All kinds of things are possible, and they're already happening. There's a little bit of this happening over there, and a little bit of this happening over there, and a little bit of this happening over there. But if we take the power of all of those things that are happening in different places and we put them together in one place, and then we make it a working model, and we multiply that, and we drop it from here to California to Florida to Maine to Washington, it's going to be insane, and it's going to create a new value in our life, because it's going to be a place where people can go and find their self-worth again and eat healthy in the day and start rejuvenating the healthiness inside of us. So I don't know how much you learned about me through this opening video, but I'm Alicia and I'm 36 and I've got 2 kids. I have had a plethora of jobs. I graduated with my business degree, and I have been chasing the dream since I was a little kid, and I believe in something better. And I'm not going to stop fighting for it, no matter what it takes. There's too much pain and there's too much hurt, and I see too many answers too easily offered to shift this thing. We're right on the brink of it. We're right on the cutting edge. And together we will co-create something amazing. By just thinking positively, by coming together in a positive thought process, letting go of the negative and taking on what comes with the idea that it really does have purpose and it's all going to work out according to plan. But we still have the ability to recreate that plan with our thoughts. What do we want? What do we want to experience it? We just have to start feeling that and sharing that together. If you never checked out Abraham, check out Abraham. That's Abraham Hicks. Any question you need an answer to, it's probably there. And it's not the answer you want or would expect, and it hurts and it digs deep, but it helps a lot. So I am in the middle of chaos in my life, trying to find some balance after everything and still trying to make this thing happen. So this was one of the longer videos. I'm going to try to keep the rest a little bit shorter. Now you know me trying to bring healthier living into the world like a franchise, because we live in a corporate America franchised world, and if we want to bring sustainable living into being a part of that, we have to create a sustainable franchise, because the model has to be repeated. It has to be something that is easy to imitate, because that's what people are used to, repetitive processes, and that's what we have to give them to bring them to the other side. Because they want to come. Everybody wants to come. They just see no way to get here. If they don't have the perfect amount of money or the perfect amount of time in their life, they are lacking happiness, because they're giving themselves to a 9-to-5 job that they probably hate. They're giving themselves to all the bills in their life, all the things running them, and on top of it, they're not putting healthy ingredients into their body, and they are wearing themselves down to the extreme of wear down. So this is day 2 of my viral mission. Actually, it's probably like day 10,336, but this immediate call out, generate an army of love, calling out to all the people who are there who feel the same as me, to help get us heard, to tell our story, to bring Healthy Bellies back to life, to start the transition of healthier access, easier access to healthier things with a crew of people who have already dedicated so much time, love, energy, finances into creating it. This is day 2 of the call out, the shout out, the revolution, the food revolution, heal the nation, save the belly, all of the above. Let's do this thing. It's nice to meet you, and I hope you're excited to learn more about this process.